Hello, Nimitz Association. I'm Captain Lenox, Commanding Officer of the Nimitz. Great to be talking to you again. I know I talked to you 2 years ago. I actually made a video last year, but apparently you guys were not able to show it at your convention. I'm sorry about that. It's too bad because I was super entertaining and I was particularly good looking on that particular day. But it's a year later now. We are in the last 2 weeks of a 15-month docking planned incremental availability, a dry docking as folks like to call it. And it's been going really well. So March 1st last year in 2018, Nimitz slid into the dry dock and she sat on the blocks for about 9 months, did a ton of work on her. About a day ahead earlier than we were supposed to, on December 6th, we came out of the dry dock and over here to the pier where we've been finishing up the work and getting ready to head back out to sea. We undocked on time. We completed our production program on time. We're doing crew certification next week, so that's why I'm wearing my my FRVs, because we are doing drills all over the place. We're running GQs, we're doing medical drills, we're setting zebra and then setting yoke and then setting zebra again and then setting yoke. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that because the afloat training group is coming next week to make sure that we have all the people, the equipment, and the skills to safely take this warship back out to sea. And then after that, I expect to do fast cruise early. I expect to do sea trials early, and we're going to finish this availability early, which is pretty exciting because it'll be the first time in 15 years that an aircraft carrier on either coast has finished a long overhaul, a DPIA, even on time, and we're going to finish about 10 days early. So that's awesome. And I will tell you, Nimitz looks fantastic. If you come out to Bremerton and are walking down the pier, make sure you're wearing sunglasses because the sun shining off the new paint job we have on the ship, just the glare will knock your socks off. So we got that new paint job, and that's from the keel all the way up to the top of the mast. All new paint. We got new non-skid. We installed a Nulka self-defense system to protect us from incoming missiles. We upgraded our computer network. We put something called a compact swaging machine in. So for those of you who worked on the flight deck, I know you remember we used to have to pour molten zinc when we were re-reeving the wires to be on the ends of those wires, the end caps. We don't do that anymore. We now have like a hydraulic press that will crimp the ends of those wires without pouring the molten metal. And you can read about that if you look it up on Google. We've been putting out some articles on that. We have an upgraded navigation system. There are new decks all over the place. I know a lot of you, when you're on board here, you're used to the tiles that you had to strip, wax, and buff every night. Then those of you who are more recently know that we'd have contractors come in and put down PRC. Now we do something called broadcast epoxy, that same shiny deck with the little flakes in it, but the sailors can do it themselves now. So even after we come out of the availability, we're still going around the ship putting down brand new, awesome looking decks. They're very sturdy and they make the ship look fantastic. We rehab the rudders and the external drive train, the drive shafts and all that underneath the ship. We took 45 berthings using sailor power, took them down to bare metal, rebuilt them up with new racks, new mattresses, new lights with LED lighting instead of the old ones with the starters. You guys all remember what a problem that was. So basically the crew's coming back aboard and this warship is in great shape, ready to head out to sea. So Nimitz's future, first thing is we are staying here in Bremerton. So all those rumors about our home port changing over to Everett, those are gone. We're staying here until the end of life. I would expect that Nimitz will have probably 2 more deployment cycles. There is some talk in DC that's way above my pay grade about maybe trying to extend her life a couple years and get 1 more deployment cycle about that. I'm reading the same articles you are, so I don't know whether that's going to pan out or not. But I will tell you that Nimitz right now is just as relevant, just as capable, just as ready to do things on the world stage as she was the day she was commissioned back in 1975. Actually, we have a lot more capability, and we're ready to go out and defend this country's objectives out on the high seas. Lastly, for myself, I'm coming up, I'm about 30 months in command right now, and on August 1st, I will be relieved by Captain Max Clark. But I can tell you both from my 1995-96 deployment as a lieutenant flying helicopters off this thing and from 32 months in command here on board, Nimitz will stay with me. Heck, I may even start coming to your conventions. So thanks for your interest in Nimitz, and Captain Clark will be talking to you next year. Thanks a lot.